Hi, I'm Jeff Ehrenberg with Vintage King Audio here at the AES Convention 2012 San Francisco. We're at the VintageKing.com booth, and I want to show you the Lisson R-124 compressor. This is a historical replica of Altec compressor that was modified by the Abbey Road engineers in the mid-60s. The legend is that this compressor was used on all of the bounce down reduction mixes that the Beatles were doing during the making of Sgt. Pepper's. You know, maybe you've seen the videos where the Beatles have a bass, vocals, and French horn on one track, on 3 tracks, and then they bounce it down to 1. Well, this was the compressor that glued that all together. It's a glorious sounding compressor. It's full, it's rich sounding, but it's not too colored. It doesn't necessarily pronounce any specific frequency range, so it would be appropriate for mastering or for the mix bus, but it'll really hold a vocal in place very nicely. There's a couple features which are unique to this replica. There's an impedance adjustment, so when it's all the way clockwise, you're at 600 ohms, which was the impedance at the time, but then you can dial it back to 200 ohms if you want to get a darker, gluier sound. So in that case, it does get a little bit more colored. At 600 ohms, it's very clean and detailed. If you want to run through the tube circuit without actually compressing, you can pull out the attack knob here, and the compression circuit's bypassed, and you're only listening to the attack. I'm sorry, you're only listening to the tube circuit. And then one thing that really sets this compressor apart, which in my experience, I can't remember anything else doing that, is a hold feature. You'll notice that the black portions on the silk screen there are your release times. And then in between each release time, there's a white knob. And look what happens to the meter when I go to the white notch. It holds the compressor in place. So here we're at a fast release time, the meter's reacting to the audio, and then we hold it in place. And the idea is, especially for a mix bus or mastering application, when your program material first starts hitting the compressor, your compressor is going to clamp down. So you get a little spike of volume, and then depending on how fast the attack is, the compressor will clamp down. So you almost hear that burst, and then the compressor holds it in place. But with the hold feature on this compressor, well, the idea is you run your program material through the compressor, and you hold it in place. That way, you go back to the top of your track. When you go to print your mix or print your master, on your first downbeat, the compressor is already compressing at the level that it will, and then you go into your setting, your release setting, as soon as you get your first downbeat.